During a blizzard, sound disappears, distance lies to your eyes, and help can be standing right in front of you without you realizing it. These are 3 true horror stories that happened in blizzards, and in every one of them, someone should have survived. I was working the night shift at a roadside motel in northern Minnesota. The place was cheap, quiet, and usually empty in winter. When the blizzard warning came in, management told me I'd be alone until morning. By midnight, the storm had swallowed the road. Snow piled against the windows so high it blocked the lower half of the glass. The wind screamed like something alive, shaking the doors, rattling the sign outside. At 1:47 a.m., the power went out. The lights snapped off, the heaters died. The silence afterward felt wrong, heavy, like the building was holding its breath. I grabbed a flashlight from under the desk and sat there listening. That's when I heard it. Knock. 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 Not loud. Slow. Deliberate. I froze. No one should have been out there. The roads were officially closed. Visibility was near zero. Even police had stopped responding unless it was life or death. I aimed my flashlight at the glass door. At first, I thought it was just snow stuck to the window. Then, it moved. A face slowly pressed forward, flattening against the glass. The skin was pale, almost bluish, eyes wide, unblinking. His mouth hung open like he was trying to breathe or scream. I stumbled back. The man raised his hand and knocked again. I shouted through the door, asking if he needed help. His mouth moved, but no sound came out. Then I noticed something horrifying. He wasn't wearing gloves, or boots, or a coat, just a thin shirt, soaked, frozen stiff. I reached for the phone to call emergency services. Before I could dial, the knocking stopped. The man turned, slowly, and walked into the white wall of snow, disappearing like he was never there. Police found him the next morning, frozen solid, 6 feet from the door. They said hypothermia made him confused, disoriented, unable to speak. But I know what I saw, because while he was knocking, there were handprints already on the glass, from the inside. That man froze 6 feet from safety. The next person didn't freeze at all. He vanished without leaving footprints. I was driving home late after visiting my sister in rural Wyoming. The forecast said light snow. By the time I hit the open highway, it had turned into a full whiteout. Snow erased the road. The sky and ground blended into one endless white void. My headlights felt useless. Around 11:30 p.m., my car slid, just for a second, but it was enough. The tires lost grip and I drifted off the road into a snowbank. The engine stalled. I tried to restart it. Nothing. My phone had no signal. I was completely alone. I wrapped myself in my coat and waited, telling myself someone would pass by eventually. Minutes felt like hours. Then I saw headlights, faint, flickering, coming toward me. I jumped out, waving my arms, screaming for help. The vehicle slowed, then stopped about 20 feet away. It was an old pickup truck. The driver's door opened. A man stepped out. Tall, thin, face hidden under a hood.
I asked if he could help push my car or give me a ride. He didn't answer. He just stood there, watching. The wind howled between us. Then he took one step forward, and I noticed his feet. They didn't sink into the snow, not even a little. He took another step, still no footprints. I backed toward my car, my heart hammering. "Are you okay?" I shouted. His head tilted, slowly. Then the truck's headlights shut off. Total darkness. I screamed and jumped back inside my car, locking the doors. I don't know how long I sat there crying, shaking, praying. When dawn finally broke, the snow cleared. A snowplow found me hours later. I asked the driver about the truck. He looked confused. There were no other vehicles reported on that road. No tire tracks, no footprints, just mine. That's when I realized something worse than being stranded. Whatever was standing in front of me didn't need the road.
I still check the snow now, because sometimes snow hides things it doesn't want you to see. The last story was recorded, not written, recorded on a 911 line. I was a 911 dispatcher in Colorado for 7 years. Most winter nights were quiet until one call I'll never forget. It came in during the worst blizzard of the decade. The caller whispered, "I'm trapped and it's getting closer." I asked for his location. He gave an address that didn't exist. I asked what was happening. He paused, then said, "It's standing outside. I can hear it breathing." I heard something on the line, a low, wet, rhythmic sound, not wind, breathing. I told him to stay calm and describe what he could see. "There's snow coming under the door," he said, "but the door isn't open." I dispatched police anyway. They couldn't reach the location. Roads were impassable. The man started crying. "It's knocking now," he whispered. The knocking grew louder, then closer, then it stopped. The line stayed open. All I could hear was breathing, not his, something else. Then silence. The call disconnected. Police reached the area the next day. They found a cabin buried almost completely in snow. The door was frozen shut from the outside. Inside, they found the man sitting in a chair, frozen, eyes wide open. The medical examiner said he died hours before the knocking was reported. The road that shouldn't exist. The weather forecast said the storm would miss us. That's what everyone kept repeating as I left the small mountain town just after sunset. "It'll pass south. You'll be fine." By the time I reached the highway, the sky had already changed. Snow began falling sideways, sharp and aggressive, like it was being thrown at the earth instead of drifting down. The road vanished in seconds, just darkness, wind, and white chaos swallowing everything beyond my headlights. I slowed to a crawl, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my hands hurt. The radio crackled with static, then died completely. No music, no voices, just the sound of the storm hammering my car. That's when I realized something terrifying. There were no road markers anymore. No reflectors, no lines, no signs. Just endless snow. I told myself I was still on the highway. I had to be. Turning around felt more dangerous than going forward, so I kept driving, slow, careful, praying my tires wouldn't lose grip. Then the road dipped. My car slid. Not fast, not dramatic, just enough. The back tires drifted sideways, and suddenly the world spun. I slammed the brakes instinctively, which only made it worse. The car lurched off the road and buried itself deep into a snowbank. The engine stalled. Silence followed, so complete it felt unreal. I tried to restart the car. Nothing. Again, nothing. My phone lit up my shaking hands. No signal. I checked the time, 11:47 p.m. I wrapped myself in my coat, breathing into my gloves, telling myself help would come. Snowplows ran all night. Someone would pass by. Minutes stretched endlessly. The cold crept in slowly, painfully, like something alive crawling into my bones. Then I saw it. Headlights, far away, dim, flickering, moving toward me. Relief hit me so hard I laughed out loud. I threw open the door and stepped into the storm, waving my arms wildly. "Hey, please!" The vehicle slowed. It was an old pickup truck, rusted, boxy, the kind you'd expect to see abandoned on a farm, not driving through a blizzard. It stopped about 20 feet away. The engine kept running. The driver's door creaked open. A man stepped out, tall, too thin. His face was hidden beneath a hood pulled low. Snow whipped around him, but he didn't seem affected by the storm. His coat didn't move. His posture didn't shift. I asked if he could help push my car or give me a ride. He didn't respond. He just stood there, watching. The wind screamed between us, yet he was unnaturally still, like a photograph placed into a moving world. Then he took a step forward. That's when I noticed the snow beneath him. It didn't move. No crunch, no sink, no footprints. My heart dropped into my stomach. He took another step. Still nothing. I backed away slowly toward my car, my breath coming out in short, panicked gasps. "Are you okay?" I shouted, my voice barely cutting through the wind. His head tilted, slowly, too slowly, and then the truck's headlights shut off. Total darkness. The storm seemed to stop all at once, like the world was holding its breath. I screamed and scrambled back into my car, slamming the door and locking it repeatedly, my hands shaking so badly I almost dropped the keys. I sat there crying, whispering prayers, afraid to look up, afraid I'd see his face pressed against the glass. Minutes passed, or hours, I don't know. Eventually, exhaustion pulled me into a shallow, terrified sleep. When sunlight finally burned through my eyelids, the storm was gone. Clear skies, calm air. A snowplow idled nearby, its driver banging on my window. He helped me dig me out and offered me a ride to the nearest station. As we drove, I asked him about the truck. The driver frowned. He didn't say anything. I told him exactly where it had stopped. He shook his head. "There's no road there," he said quietly. "No tire tracks, no footprints, nothing. Just mine." That's when I realized something far worse than being stranded in a blizzard. Whatever stood in front of me that night didn't need roads to travel.
Blizzards erase roads. They erase sound. And sometimes they erase people. Subscribe, because winter has more stories to tell.